example 3, we have an x cubed graph. Same thing happens here as what's happened all the way through. Okay? Now, how do these questions get a little bit more difficult for us? Is if they actually just give you the equation inside. Okay? So this one could have been harder if they had done the following. Okay? Graph y equals square root of. Can anyone tell me what the equation of the red graph is? Do you see that there's a bounce at 0? Then you would have to have an x squared. Do you see you have an x-intercept at -1? So you would have an x plus 1. And that one goes straight through. It only happens once. Does this give me an x cubed graph? Yes. Now, does my graph, when I plug in x equals 1, do I get 2? Right, because this graph has 1, 2. If I plug in 1, do I get 2? 1 times 2. Yeah, I do. Otherwise, there might have been a number in front. I mean, I could write a temporary 1 in there, but I don't need to. This is the equation. So you could get, the graph is not given to you. They just say, can you graph the square root of x squared times x plus 1? So first you'd have to go to chapter 1 and say, this has x-intercepts at -1, which is an important point because that's where the y value is 0. It has an x-intercept at 0, important point, because the y value is 0. And the one at 0 bounces. Should this have been a negative? No, because it's going up. The end behavior matches. Okay, next, with graphing square roots, we also have to find out where the graph is equal to 1. That's a point where it's going to stay the same. Are there any other nice points on here? Not really. Unless you know the square root of 2 is 1.4, you could do that. But does it make sense that this section is the below section? Now, between 0 and 1, it's going to be slightly above. So are you okay with that? What are you going to do between these two? My y values there on the red graph are still between 0 and 1. So my blue graph has to be slightly above. Perfect. Slightly above. As long as you don't go over 1, you're fine. Okay? So this would be bad. Ooh. That would be too much slightly above. So that should go away. There we go. I've designed it so that when I make mistakes, it just erases. Wouldn't that be nice? You have a pencil that does that? You do your answers for your multiple choice, you go later on, you turn back to the front page, half your answers are erased, and you're like, what happened? Oh. That would be a good way to figure out what the right choice is. You circle A, you wait, oh, it went away, it's not A. And does it ask for domain and range? Of course. Domain, what are our x values? And you see that it includes everything bigger than or equal to -1. Here's interval range. And your range, the y values are bigger than or equal to 0. Over this one. I'll get you to circle 10 and 12.